Well, it's time for an update. I mean, it's been, probably a couple of weeks now at this point. Today is Wednesday, November the 5th. It's a little after 6 o'clock at night, and it is pitch black out. I'm already freaking out with this time change thing. So, yeah, so just like you are, it's got me wigged out as well. Number one question: how do I feel? Feel pretty good. Yeah, honestly. It has been it's been 4 weeks to the day, actually, since my last chemo treatment, and I feel good. I really, generally speaking, I feel, dare I say, pretty normal right now. And that's good, because I have 2 weeks, literally 2 weeks from today is my surgery, and that's big. So yesterday, I had my pre-op meetings, and I had like 4 different meetings with 4 different people over at the hospital yesterday. So I was there for a good third of the day, kind of thing, just bouncing between different meetings with different people and learning about what I'm going to be going through and what it's going to be like. So let's just jump right in. Let's talk about my surgery. So I'm going to have what's called a radical cystectomy. Radical cystectomy. And it is robot assisted. So it's actually kind of cool. So the way, if I can have my guts cut out of me, if it's going to be cool. So the way it's going to work is that, and I guess I can put up a screen up here right, and show you the photograph. But I'm going to be on the table in the operating room, and I'm actually going to be head down, legs up for like 6 or 7 hours. The reason they do that is because they want gravity to kind of push my guts towards up, right? Except I'll be upside down, so I'll be pushing it down so that the doctors have room to work in there. I mentioned that it's robotically assisted. I'm going to have a bunch of holes poked in me and a couple of decent-sized incisions, and that machine has got all these arms on it. And the doctor is not actually holding a scalpel in his hand and doing the stuff. He's sitting at that terminal in the photograph there with his face into a 3D it's basically like the doctor equivalent of like the sweetest sim racing rig that you've ever seen. And he controls the motions of the robot with his hands and with his feet. So he's doing all of his thing while it's doing all of the things inside of me. It's crazy. It's really wild. But that's going to be the story here. So I'm going to be upside down, and apparently because of that, they're gonna puff up my insides with air so that they've got room to work. And it's basically I'm going to be real uncomfortable after I wake up for probably like 3 days. So kind of. Doesn't sound like a whole lot of fun, but the technology's kind of cool, and that's good. Oh, speaking of good, last week I had a PET scan. A PET scan is different from a CT scan in the sense that it's used to see whether or not the cancer tumors, have spread anywhere else in the body. Guess what? Freaking negative. Nothing. So what I've got is still inside my bladder, which means we can get it out of my body. I like that. I'm a big fan of that. When I was at the surgery center yesterday and talking with one of the nurses, you're going to love this story. She says, because she can see in the notes in there, it says, I drive cars and I ride motorcycles. She goes, you won't be driving cars or riding motorcycles for, quite some time. And I said, hey, about that. My hobby isn't just driving cars. I drive race cars, and I want my pouch to be positioned so that I can still get into the race car. And she's like, oh, my husband does that. I'm sorry, what? What are the odds? So, short story, her husband is a track day guy. He's got an E36 BMW that he tracks. He is occasionally an instructor as well, like up at VIR. And the event that I actually did an event 2 weeks ago down at Kershaw for the BMW Club. He was normally there, but he wasn't there for whatever reason. But she's like, oh, yeah, you'd totally recognize me. He's like 6'5" and redheaded. I'm like, okay, that guy stands out. So that's all fine. And then she says, hey, wait a minute. Do you know Chris Thompson? I'm like, yeah, he's like, yeah, I've known the guy almost 20 years. She goes, oh, yeah. I've worked with him for years. Because Chris is also a nurse as well. So Chris, car guy, he's a nurse, happens to know this nurse whose husband is a car guy. Like, how crazy. So when I mentioned to her about, positioning the thing so that I can fit into a 6-point harness, she's like, don't you worry. We got that. When you meet with the they call it a wound nurse, the stoma nurse, he's going to position it up. So he did. So by the way, I've actually got a mark. I'm not going to show you my chest right now, but I've got a mark right there that shows right where they're going to put my stoma, and then my pouch is going to hang off of there so that I can go to the bathroom. So pretty crazy. Just a small world, right? For sure. Speaking of cars, I went racing last weekend. So Alex and I loaded up the car, went down to Carolina Motorsports Park with NASA Southeast, and I figured, you know what, this is my last chance to drive a car while I still have my body the way I know it. And Saturday was good. I mean, the car's acting up a little bit. The brakes wanted to pull to the side. It had some brake issues. Anyway, we got it sort of straightened out. But I finished 10th on Saturday, so not too bad out of 17 or 18 of us. On Sunday, I started 12th, fell back to 14th, was running 10th with one lap to go. Speaking of E36 BMWs, a Spec 3 class car wiped me out. I'm like, no! He made kind of a boneheaded move and spun me out on the last lap. So, oh well, it was a great race that didn't quite. That's racing, right? It is what it is. But I got to tell you that my racing friends and family are absolutely the best. At the awards ceremony on Saturday night, they all showed up with inflatable hammers for Hammer, to show their support for me. I am telling you guys, it took all I could to not just openly cry. It was very touching. It really, really was. All right, what's left here? Not a whole lot. Oh, I do have to go in next week to finish my crown. My crown hurt so much when they started to put it in there that I wound up with a freaking root canal. So, oh yeah, my mid-50s are treating me awesome. Great, but that's the latest. As you can see, I feel a whole lot better than I felt the last time that I had a chance to talk with you, and I hope that you guys are doing great as well. I will be in the hospital for about a week, and will be home right around Thanksgiving. Probably a day or so before Thanksgiving, give or take. So that's the latest, okay? I appreciate you checking in. Thanks for all the prayers and thoughts, and I will talk with you very soon. God bless.